What's up, drivers? Here's a question for you. In this day and age, can you buy a cheap car? And what is a cheap car? Well, in my opinion, a cheap car is around maximum £750. It should be pretty cool. It should be reliable. It should be fairly cheap to run. It should have decent mileage, and it should be CAS and ULEZ compliant, because this is the reality of the world that we live in Britain now. Ticking all of those boxes can be hard, but I think I've done it with the car I've just bought. So let me just show you what I've just purchased. I ended up buying this, which is, of course, if you've watched Top Gear, then you'll recognize that this is the car that Jeremy and James have made fun of when they were talking about Peugeot. It's, of course, the 307cc. Now, the 307cc is a fairly well recognized convertible. I think it's actually quite handsome. In this case, this is a 2-litre petrol. Everything works, including the sensors. And this car was stood for about a year. It has currently no MOT, and look at the state of it. It's got spider webs all over the place. There's mold growing out of the tail light. There's lacquer peel all across it. Yeah, it's in dire need of some TLC. But I have ended up buying this vehicle for, and wait for it, and massive thank you for Adrian, who ended up who actually watches the channel and has allowed us to purchase this vehicle for £275. That's all it's cost me. It runs and drives. It currently has no MOT. It definitely needs a clean. It's spider infested. The loads of spiders all about, tiny ones all about, but all in all, it's actually not in bad nick. The interior is fairly clean. It starts on the button, needs a service, doesn't have an oil leak, although the oil at this point is low, so I don't know if it's either burning it or if it has gasket issues. I have just driven it from Rothwell all the way to Kettering, which is about 20 minutes, and she's driven perfectly. Even the temperature is holding straight, so I don't think it's gasket issues. I just think perhaps the oil was never topped up. So I will do that. I will do a service on this, brakes and pads, and of course the tires, because they look a bit knackered, and then we'll put it through an MOT. This will be the next car that I drive. I currently have a Prius, which I absolutely love to bits, but I will get this car sorted before I decide to take it out for a drive, and then I'm going to take it to Europe. All in all, I'm actually very, very pleased with the purchase. Yes, it's fairly old. It's an 07 plate. The headlights are, well, as you can see, not that great. Otherwise, body marking and everything like that is always going to be present on a car this old. Having said that, it definitely has a few scratches here and there, which I'm sure we'll be able to take out with some polish. The alloys look pretty nice. There's no cat on it, so it's not a category accident car either, but the tail light definitely needs replacing. If you've had these cars before, you know these plastics, they break a lot, and it's very common on the CC, especially on the 307. All in all, it's actually a very, very nice, neat model. I think it might be a sport because it has some really nice chrome exhaust tailpipes as well, and it has a ducktail spoiler thing here, which has massive lacquer peel. Hopefully my neighbour who does bodywork will be able to sort that out. All in all, I think it's a phenomenal car for £275, and again, a massive thank you to Adrian. Adrian ended up accidentally breaking the convertible button, but it does convert, so I'll be replacing that as well. Initially, the frameless windows weren't putting the windows down for the doors to be open, but after a reset, that seems to have worked. Let's give it a start. So it only comes with one key. It's in neutral. Bargain. Absolute bargain. You can see it's idling nice and smooth as well. It's been parked for a year, this car. You wouldn't know it. So yeah, stay tuned to see what other shenanigans we get up to on Daily Driver UK. 107 on the clock as well, so barely. So this is a Peugeot at night. I was kind of concerned about this light. You see that the lens cover is missing, but the bulbs, all of them light up, so it is still okay, and it should, in all seriousness, go through an MOT. The problem is that these things fall off, the lens cover falls off, hence why these issues occur. Now on this side, the lens cover is missing, but the brake lights do turn on. So yeah, I think it might pass an MOT like that, but it's worth having a chat to see. Otherwise, as you can see, she's idling still, and she's idling nicely. You can hear a whine. I think that might be from the engine itself. I think that's how they sound. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it running for a bit so the battery charges up. Right, as part of my checks that I'm doing on this Peugeot that I've just purchased, I wanted to check the heater because obviously with the amount of oil that was really low in it, which I did top up, I just wanted to make sure that it didn't have any gasket issues. So I'm running the heater right now. The car is not up to temperature, it's nearly up to temperature. The heater is running nice and hot, which is lovely, and it's not even at 22, and I've tried the AC and it works as well. For those of you that own a Peugeot but don't know how to control that, it's all done through this unit here. So if you press menu, it should then guide you to different things. Now the car has its own kind of brain, and it understands if it has any problems, so there's a way to figure that out. So if you go into personalization, I guess, let's see if it gives me any sort of ability to see if there's anything wrong with the car. It says it says warning log there. I think that might be, if I can zoom in a little bit. There you go. And if I click on that and press OK, sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where this is. There we go. If I press OK, and that's how I control it. On the warning log, it says no fault. So that's where the car stores all of its warnings. So what it thinks is wrong with it. So right now, this car doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. So, right, it's not overheating. That slight whine is actually from the steering pump, or the power steering pump. You can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's a slight whine, but it's quite common for these, to be honest. It is a French car and they do suffer with that. Apart from that, I'm really quite happy with the purchase. I don't think she needs much apart from that lens to maybe put through an MOT. What probably does need doing at some point is the battery. As you can see, flashing the time. I think it resets itself every time the battery kind of dies. So yeah, I don't think I needed to jump this, so perhaps it was a bit low. But the great thing about this as well, which I'm surprised about, this car has dual climate control. It has dual climate control, which is absolutely brilliant. So if I take AC off, maybe it's still running hot, which is lovely. Yeah, all in all, very, very nice. And I actually like this dial. It makes it look really quite posh. I like the way they've kind of done the dials up. You can see that the guy who owned it before did a long trip in it. It's done 1,407 miles from the last time that they kind of done it. There's also this computer here that tells me about temperature, I think, or I think that's oil temperature. So yeah, that's good. As long as that doesn't creep up above 100, we're okay. So I gave the Peugeot a wash, and check out how nice it turned out. Ignore the flies that are from all these dead plants on my neighbour's yard. That's horrendous. Yeah, the car looks lovely though. Looks virtually, the paint has come out really nice. The flies seem to love the red colour, to be fair. Wow, really impressed. Tyres need some air and stuff like that, but really impressed otherwise. Can you see these tiny little fly things? Can you? Loads of them. Nice. The lens is still a problem, but I've been told by the MOT person that as long as the thing is red, the bulbs, and the indicators one is yellow, it's okay. So hopefully she should now go through an MOT. What's up, drivers? Unfortunately, the MOT results have come back and it's a fail. Now, one thing I want to highlight is that what it's failed on is actually something that can be fixed quite easily, but it's one of those things really. So the problems that this car has apparently, well, they actually, having done some investigation myself, I kind of knew because you can hear the knocking from the suspension. But the suspension arm ball joint needs replacing. On the near side, it's bad. The CV boot joints on both sides of boot is ripped, so that's something that needs to get fixed as well. Anti-roll bar links need to be done as well. Now, just for one ball joint, links, and the CV boots, I was quoted £466. And this was at the garage. Now, the garage I use is Goodwill in Kettering. There, I always take my MOTs there. They seem to be very open and honest about what's happening, but I guess they were going to use Peugeot parts or whatever. I thought that was an extraordinary amount of money. But they were going to charge me again a £45 fee to carry out another MOT. So, I don't know. I decided not to give them the opportunity because I think 466 is, well, to be honest, very, very expensive. So although for what we paid in the car, we could put that money into it, but we're going to be intelligent about it. So what I did, I scouted around and I tried to buy these parts separately myself. I looked at 3 parts vendors: Motor Parts Direct in Kettering, Eurocar Parts, which should have been the best value, but it's not, and a company called Napa Auto Parts, which used to be CT as well back in the day. But basically, Napa Auto Parts is the one that's come best value. Now, Napa is a good company; they're very well recognized, and the only other company that they ended up giving me the links for was Delphi. So I know those are good quality parts. Altogether, it's not cost me a fortune, but it is not cheap either. So for 2 ball joints, 2 CV boot kits, and 2 linked stabilizers, a total including VAT was £104.62. Right, what's up, drivers? A bit of an update on the Peugeot 307 project that I have bought. So as you all know, last thing that I done was I scouted the parts and it cost me £104.62. I've now been scouting for a while to get some labour costs for it, and turns out getting ball joints, 2 lower ball joints replaced, links, and CV boot joints are very, very expensive. Roughly around 2 to 5, maybe some even said 300. A garage quoted £400, which is just insane to me. I've ended up looking at a local mobile mechanics because the car has no MOT or tax, so I don't want to be driving around. So they're coming here and they're going to do work at my property for £210, which is a lot. But in the grand scheme of things, considering how much we paid for the car, and we're going to do the calculations at the end, I think it's probably worth it because this is probably one of the best, most common quotes I'm getting. So roughly, if you have this problem with your car and pretty much all of the front suspension is needing work, so I've decided to do the other side as well, because if you're going to open one side up, you might as well do the other. At least that way you know that the car's sorted for that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not a massive hit, but it is a hit regardless. 210 quid is a fair bit to take on. So let's see after that what our cost will be, and if that gets that car MOT'd and on the road, and then we can look at the cost and see if it's actually below the 750 mark that we kind of aimed for. Stay tuned. Hey, what's up, drivers? And now a little bit of an update on the situation. So the mobile mechanics came out and they carried out the works on the car, which is brilliant. Also, because they had a 307 kind of oil filter lying around that a previous customer, they oddly enough worked on a 307 like 3 weeks ago. The guy didn't claim because he ended up saying that they don't want to do the work from them, but they still had some of the parts. So they were able to offer that to me. So I ended up getting a service done as well on the car. And as they were already here and doing the works on the other car, we negotiated a price of £35 for an oil and oil filter, oil being provided by them as well. So that's wonderful. Now that means that the car doesn't even need a service now because it's already been done. So that brings our total from £210 to £245. So what does that mean in regards to the cost for the Peugeot 307 now? Now, from my understanding, it was £104.62, and then it was 300. So yeah, it should be £349.62. Let me just check my calculations. £349.62 is correct. So that is what our investment is now in regards to parts and labour. Still considerably less than £466 quoted by the MOT centre. And this is with the service included as well. So yeah, all in all, the car has actually come down to, I believe, let me just double check because I did the calculations earlier, £716.62. So £716.62 is below the £750 mark. Now, I have sent the car in for an MOT now, and I'm waiting for them to complete the MOT so I can go and collect the vehicle to see if that car is now road legal. Once it's road legal, we will tax it, insure it, and then take it out for a drive. But all in all, £750 for a CAZ and ULEZ compliant car. A cool car at that, because that Peugeot is beautiful when it comes out in red. It looks the part. With really fairly decent mileage, I think it's a good price in this day and age where people are paying so much money to drive around dreary boxes, Euro boxes that are terrible. Let's be honest, it's not the most amazing performance vehicle, but at the end of the day, at least the Peugeot looks nice and it has certain characteristics that make it kind of fun to drive, and I think it's better than a Corsa. It's definitely better than a Suzuki Alto or something like that, which you would purchase within this about £750 range with no problems. Any car that you're looking to pay less for, of course that's going to have issues which you need to take into consideration. With all of the issues fixed on this Peugeot, it means it is road legal, it's in good condition, it's just been serviced for £716. So it's a long-winded way to get a cheap car, but in this way, at least you have kind of sorted out all of the issues that you might come across. So massive plus point now. Having said that, there are other cheap cars out there. I obviously wanted to save this car from the scrappers, hence why I decided to purchase it and take this project on and the costs associated with it. However, you can probably buy a car for like 450 quid, 350 quid in some cases. Like super old cars are probably past their sell by date. But if you want a sorted car that has still got lots of life in it, it's fun to drive to a certain extent, it's cool to look at, has some level of street cred, and perhaps is easy on the eye, and is control air zone and ULEZ compliant, and which is Euro 4 basically, then yeah, it makes sense to invest in a car like that and then to pay to get everything sorted. So I hope you enjoyed this series, and let's see if that Peugeot actually passes its MOT, in which case it would be mission successful. So stay tuned. What's up, drivers? Look what I have in my hand. It's passed. Lovely. That means that car is now on the road. So it really is mission successful. All I have to do now is to obviously tax and insure it. I always use confused.com because I find they have the best quotes. So if you are looking for a good insurance deal, that's a good shout. Not sponsored or anything by them, I'm just sharing my opinion. Also, with this Peugeot 307, I think roughly market value is over £1,000 at least, so it's a good money maker. I'm going to be selling my other car, so I have actually now ended up buying a daily driver for a really good price, and I'm excited that the service and everything is done as well, so don't have to worry about another 8,000 miles worth of driving. So yeah, all in all, a very successful attempt of buying a vehicle. Now, in all cases, in all seriousness, sorry, cheaper cars out there, always look to buy cars that you trust, take them out for a drive, make sure they're okay. But if you are looking for something a bit grander, this is a great way of getting cars back on the road that otherwise would have seen the crusher. This car would have gone to the scrappers. We've given it a new lease of life. It's on the road. It's going to be used to ferry me and my family about, and I'm super excited. I think it looks amazing, and I'm excited to take it to Europe. So stay tuned, because we are going to take this one to Europe. I know I've been promising a Europe trip for a while, even with the van, even with the other cars, but this one is definitely going to Europe, and I'm super excited to drive it and to review it for you. So thank you very much for watching, and have a brilliant day. Take care. Right, so we are driving our completed Peugeot 307cc, and we've just driven into Luton. We can see we're entering Luton now, and it's been fantastic. I mean, she's been really smooth over the bumps thanks to the new suspension, and the engine has returned, well, 48 mpg, which is pretty impressive from a 2-litre unit. You can see that she drives really nice and smooth. She's not loud in here, and she offers a lot for, you know, what we paid for it. So all in all, a massive success, and definitely a car that's worth more than £750.